There it is. Now it says we're live. Welcome, everyone. If you're watching this live, it of course means it's noon Eastern time on a Wednesday, which is always time for the High Noon Hemp Show. Of course, you can find us in many, many places. If you're on Facebook, it's the Temptations Beach Facebook page. If you're on X/Twitter, whatever you want to call it, it is at Temptations there. And on YouTube, it's the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel. You find us in many, many places because we're awesome. Of course, I'm Stoner Jesus. You can search me if you feel like it on one of your favorite search engines. If you got the Netscape or the Bing or the AOL or whatever you have, he is Beach. He is on the USS Temptations. I don't know what name we landed on, but I'm going to go with that. I think that I like the sound of that. That's where he is, and he's going to tell us all about Temptations and what he is wearing and all the stuff he tells us about every week on the High Noon Hemp Show. Beach, how are things this week in the world of Temptations?
It is true. I am high upon the Ohio River. The unofficial name of the boat is the Seaweed. And so USS Temptations for prosperity's sake works for me, though.
I'll go with that.
That's what we call the, and I even have like big USS Temptation stickers. Because that's what we made when we did the 4th of July Independence Day parades in Northside. We took a pontoon boat and we made it the USS Temptations, and so it's true. I should just put one of those like on the front of this boat. That's what I should do.
It's ready made.
It's what I should do. It's true. Remember, everyone, to be clear, the FDA has not evaluated this show for safety or efficacy. Remember that. And now let's do our pledge, as we do every week. I pledge allegiance to the hemp fields of America and to the soil in which it is planted. One seed under the sun with responsibility, sustainability, and thrivability for all. Welcome, everyone, to the High Noon Hemp Show. It's true, I am Beach. It's true, he is Stoner Jesus. And it's true, we try to do this every week at high noon on Wednesday to keep everyone informed on what's going on in the hemp world, because there's still a lot. 30 years plus into this whole hemp world thing, and I can still come up with some good stuff every week, it seems like. Fire indeed. Let's just jump right into the product spotlight, what I call 4 from the store. My TV just turned itself back on again. Weird stuff, folks. 4 from the store, 1 from my door, as I like to say. The first one here is we did get some new fresh Medterra tincture in. And the reason that I carry the Medterra tincture, because we have our own line of tincture, of course, at Temptations, is because this is the isolate. And so there are people out there. Ours is a full spectrum. So it does, in fact, include a little bit of all those other things. But this is Medterra's is an isolate and super well priced. So if you're looking for a CBD isolate, we can grant you that wish. It's true. These are. I realize I have the picture upside down. But this is the Justiva, and this is CBDA powders. There's about 800 milligrams of CBDA in there in a powder form. You can mix it with any liquid, pretty much any kind of drink. You can put it in your smoothie. There's a coca, so that's the one I use in my coffee. There's just kind of a natural, and then I believe there's a lemon, which I also used in my water. So I put the coca in the morning in my coffee and the lemon in my water at night. And again, this is CBDA, which is CBD for the most part. And it just takes a little teaspoon to get a decent amount of CBD. So just another way to kind of work that into your daily CBD regiment. Different form, but still get a little bit out of it. These are new. They are called Numb, or they're from the company called Numb, not legal in the state of Florida because they would argue that these are packaged for kids, which really pisses me off because they're not. They're packaged for adults that want Delta 9. And they're all Delta 9 THC, and then they have a little bit of different stuff. So ones, you can see THCA, a couple are THCA with there. I think you got some Delta 8 in there or something maybe and whatnot. So a little bit of different, but still Delta 9, the big one. We can legally extract that from industrial hemp and put it in all products. We just can't have it in flour. And again, it really pisses me off. I might even close the show with my thoughts on packaging towards kids and saying that it should be illegal in the THCA, THC, CBD, anywhere, honestly. Because, again, everybody keeps these products behind the counter. We keep them behind the counter. We would card you if you look like a kid's. Well, thank you very much. It's nice to be called a kid. But that's right. Kids like me, 21 and older. I can see that both ways. Because again, it's not like they're out on the shelf and a kid would go and pick these up and think that they, could buy them. What kid's carrying around $24, $25 to buy, chocolate chip cookies or little brownies? None. And so again, it's so stupid. It's so stupid to say that packaging has a factor in the product. Again, it's like throwing XXX magazines in a brown wrapper to hide them. It doesn't change what they are, and they're not. It's not for selling to kids. Anyway, so these are available. Once again, get down to Northside if you want to get yourself some treats, edibles. I definitely suggest edibles for nighttime. One way or another. It always takes me down. It always makes me tired. So it really helps with sleep and issues like that and winding down at the end of the night. But there you have it. If you feel like getting numb, come get yourself some fun at the Hemptations. And the last here is some good old-fashioned pipe cleaners, raw pipe cleaners made out of hemp, of course. What's not to love about pipe cleaners? There's so many things. I use pipe cleaners for everything to put twisty ties on my wires to cleaning out my pipes. So they have multiple use if you have them. Connecting things, all kinds of good stuff. As far as they're called pipe cleaners, but they have multiple uses. And so, if you need pipe cleaner, get yourself some raw hemp pipe cleaners, and feel good about jamming that through your pipe. I guess. Either way. So there you have it. 4 from the store. Now the one from my door is a little shout out to the Paris Olympics. This is, if you don't know, the Paris Olympics mascot is based on this hat. I just went and practiced how to pronounce it, and I'm still going to pronounce it wrong. But it's like Frisian, or also called a Liberty cap. Okay, and this was a cap that was very important, apparently, in history. To both the American Revolution and the French Revolution as a symbol of liberty, obviously, and whatnot. I get this actually. This isn't made out of hemp, of course. It wouldn't be here if it wasn't. I got this in Washington when we were celebrating the passing of, I think it was the 2018 Farm Bill that took hemp off the controlled substances. We were in Washington, D.C. for a hemp event base for that. It was great. And this is where one of the attendees, this is what he did with hemp, is he made these hats and sold them. And he gave us ours. Yeah, he respected who we were in the industry, so Mary and I both ended up with one. And he had different patches and all kinds of things. This one is actually a little bigger for my head, but the fact that it says Space Cadet, I believe, on it, right? That's what that, no, Space Explorer.
Space Explorer.
The fact that it had the Space Explorer patch on it, I felt was very relative to me somehow, some way. I like to get high, and space is as high as you can get. So anyway, there you have it. I'm going to wear this Friday night for the opening ceremonies. I don't know if that's really true or not. It probably will be true. I don't think I'm doing anything Friday night, so I may watch the opening ceremonies. I don't know. If not, I may just wear it on Friday, and people are going to look at me like, what is that hat, and why is he wearing it? But I thought that was kind of fun. Again, the mascot, and he's called like Fairy or some Frey, however you pronounce it. But you know, he's got little arms and legs, but he's based on the Liberty Cap, and so it's fun stuff indeed. And it just ironically that again, with everything we've been moving and I've been settling and whatnot, it actually popped up on the boat. And so and this was like a week ago or 2 weeks ago when I actually found out that was the mascot. It's like, I have one of those. Anyway, so there you have it, folks, on the Product Spotlight here on the High Noon Hemp Show. 4 from the store, 1 from my door. And now,
brings us to what is still the greatest segment in internet history and still unacknowledged in any way, shape, or form by the Guinness World Records corporation or people or organization or whatever it is. They just do not care that Beach has maybe more hemp stuff than anyone else on planet Earth. You would think that would be kind of a big deal, kind of a record-worthy thing, but I guess it's not. That's fine. If you're mad about that, as I am, if you're angry, you're enraged even, at Guinness World Records on Twitter, at GWR, tell them about it, how enraged you are about this, and maybe they'll do something. Probably not. In any case, what we do every week is the Beachwear segment. I just have to ask Beach one simple question, and he'll tell me all about all of the hemp stuff that he is wearing right now as we do the show. All I have to do is ask, what are you wearing, Beach?
That's true. If you're curious, what am I wearing? Now you'll know. And this is the 262nd different outfit. Now, I may have worn the same clothes, but this is the, different outfit. They've all been different outfits regardless. But this is the 262nd outfit that we have posted here on the High Noon Hemp Show in the segment we call, What Are You Wearing, Beach? So on top there, that's a officially licensed Puma on my head, Puma hat. Puma, the shoemaker, most popular for their shoes. The T-shirt, like one of my oldest favorite hemp T-shirts, honestly. Hemp now, it's EcoSport. I'll have to go and look and see if EcoSport still exists as a hemp company. A couple reasons I really love their stuff. A lot of times, if they use cotton, it was organic cotton. This one says organic cotton and hemp blend on the label. And I just, it's purple and green. There's so many things that that I love about this shirt. And I love to wear it. And it's not as relevant because we have hemp now in the United States. 20 years ago, we did not have hemp now in the United States. So my shorts, those are Prana, big company, Prana. My belt there is a classic Hempies belt. In my pocket, as normal, you can see my Green Springs Technology pen. Barely, it's kind of camoed in there with these Prana shorts. Underneath it all, I have a pair of Hemptopia briefs. You can find those at Hemptopia or I believe even on Amazon. A pair of, I believe these are my Oasis no-shows. And then getting me where I got to go is my Adidas Sambas. I think those are Sambas. pretty sure that's the classic samba style, one way or another. So if you're curious, hey, it's another day. It's Wednesday. What are you wearing, Beach? Now you know. Now you know. So, all right. Well, a lot of people just, I don't know why, maybe it's just a marketing thing, probably just to sell you more stuff. Celebrate Christmas in July, which would be tomorrow. So I figured let's just check out a commercial that might be relative to Christmas in July, and then we'll be back with some news.
It's that time of year for shopping day and night. Temptations for the holidays will make your pipes burn bright. Make a shopping dash, come raid Temptation stash. You're sure to find great hemp gifts while saving lots of cash. So have some cheer, get in here, everybody get along. The holidays happen once a year, it's 420 all year long.
Are you having Temptations?
For 20 years.
Having Temptations for 20 years.
There you go. That'll get you in the spirit. I don't know what will.
And if you've ever been curious as to what I would look like as a South Park-esque cartoon character, now you know. We actually have two of those. That was the follow-up, I think, to the original one that we did, which I'll show at Christmas time next year. So you have to be here in December.
That's right.
You have to be in here in December before you're going to see that. So, all right. Well, let's jump right into the news. I suppose the biggest hemp news out there is now they're talking about the Farm Bill being held over for another year, which is crazy because it's already been held over for a year, which is, from my understanding, kind of normal practice. Like, they're supposed to start the process every 4 years, but there's no time limit as to when they have to finish the process, so to speak. And so, a lot of times the farm bills are 5 years apart. This one is now going to be 6 years, 7 years, if not signed until next year. And so, one part of me says it's a good thing because they're still talking about trying to put some things in there that they absolutely should not do. And so maybe they need more time to discuss that part of it. I don't know what else is in the farm bill that's controversial that they can't get it done. You would think it would be pretty easy. It's just agriculture. It's all about, but the problem is most of it's really about allocating money, subsidies and this and that and all the other. And so, that's really the whole part of the farm bill. It's not about making farming actually better. It's more about protecting or abusing government money. Protecting farmers or abusing government money. Because a lot of the subsidies, it's quite ridiculous, is they literally give you subsidies to not grow something. That's my understanding is a big part of it. But anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about hemp. We'll see. We'll keep listening and hearing what's going on when it comes to the farm bill, because again, they are trying to mess with the industrial hemp section of the last farm bill, basically. And again, the only things they need to do if they're going to change anything is dump the felony restrictions. So if you have a felony, you cannot grow industrial hemp in the United States under the farm bill, federal farm bill, and raise the THC limit, which they're not even talking about doing. But if they want to change something in it, those are the two things they need to do. They need to leave the rest of it alone. The states are dealing with this intoxicating hemp, this term the government has also come up with recently, or governments have come up with recently. And so, to be honest with you, just leave it alone and let the states deal with it, one way or another. Don't try to, because the minute you try to ban any part of the industrial. It's just going to get too confusing, and all of a sudden you're going to have less farmers wanting to grow industrial hemp. Not more farmers. We need more farmers to grow industrial hemp because less farmers are growing for CBD. We're growing less for the flower, which sparked the whole last farm bill taking off the controlled substance list to begin with. It's not a loophole that these things are available. They clearly knew. That's why they put in the last farm bill. They described it, every byproduct, anything that comes from industrial hemp, no matter what, extracts, fibers, whatever it is 100% legal. Okay, based on that 0.3% THC or less dry weight in the flower at the end of the growing season. Okay, that's the biggest restriction. And so, if we start picking at it and start adding little things here and there, then we're going the wrong direction with industrial hemp in this country. Once again, let states deal with this. The biggest fighters against it, and this is the biggest proponents to make these changes in the farm bill, is the marijuana industry. They're so worried about industrial hemp replacing a lot of their products, and again, free market, folks, free market, that they're lobbying against all of these things that we can get out of industrial hemp, and the customers are finding satisfactory one way or another. And so I think it's not a health concern. It's not a safety concern even. It's a greed concern. The people that are driving changing things in the farm bill when it comes to industrial hemp, as far as cannabinoids and all these the intoxicating hemp things, the people driving that are only driving that out of pure greed for themselves, because and so there's a lot of pharmaceuticals and they probably lobbied against CBD at some point or another, or tried to lobby against the CBD being legal in certain states or whatever, to try to protect their business as well, because out of greed. And so I think that's the most ridiculous part of it. If they could really get up there and argue that this is a safety thing and prove that, if any of this stuff is dangerous, prove it. The government can't prove that any cannabis is really dangerous, and the fact that it only has health benefits makes it very difficult. And so, we'll see how. Once again, we're keeping an eye on the farm bill, see how that plays out. But we have, obviously, I guess, another 6 months probably until anything is going to be remotely finalized. So we'll see. These are some fun lights. Mycelium is, making a huge impact on materials these days. And so this light is called a mush loom. I did send the pictures over, didn't I? It's called a mush loom light. And they're doing, this is the stand-up light version, but they're doing, a hanging version and other forms of the light. But the process is so you can see from this next picture, they basically make a mold out of hemp, okay, and they grow the mycelium in the mold. The mycelium eats its way through the hemp, breaking it down and binding it together, and it makes these lamp molds, which once again just really means you can make anything molded out of this if you wanted to. You just use the hemp substrate and the mice. And again, it's like super, again, eco-friendly. Instead of a plastic lamp or even a wood lamp or whatever, paper lamp, this is 100% environmentally friendly, and just really a neat idea. Now, I believe these Mushlume lights, and that's Mushlume lights. I believe it again, once again, that they're being made over in Europe. So I don't know how easy or hard it would be to find one here or get one here in the United States. That stand-up light is pretty cool. If I thought I needed lights, I would definitely consider that one. But I have too many lights as it is already. But what a neat use for. And again, mycelium is 10 years from now. Hemp and mycelium will replace 90% of all the plastic in the world. Honestly, if mycelium keeps on its fast pace that it is right now, because I really just kind of learned about this process. And again, I'm not saying it's new, but I really just kind of learned about this mycelium process a couple years ago, when people started using it with hemp. I don't know how long that's been going on, but it's I think it's relatively new. We have shown tens, 20s of products over the last 5 years or so that are being made from a coffin made out of mycelium and hemp, to water buoys to float in water made out of mycelium and hemp, and some other stuff. I have to think back, but and so this is really yet another material that is eco-friendly, and needs to be pushed into so many different industries to be using. So very cool. Good work, Mushloom lights. Those are very cool. I really look forward to a lot more mycelium / hemp products being on the show in the future, because I know there's more to find and show. So, cannabidiol, better known as CBG, another one of the common cannabinoids that we can boost in CBD flower. It's not CBD flower, it's CBG flower, but it's still considered industrial hemp. And we're finding it to have the same kind of uses as CBD, but more kind of on the uplifting side, actually. Even though a double-blind study has indicated that CBG reduces anxiety and stress, but also may enhance memory. And so it says in the study, and again, double-blind study, 30% of the study itself, so 30% of the participants of the study were self-medicating for depression. 80% of those said that CBG was more effective than whatever they were using to self-medicate with prior to that. And so, once again, we might have a little bit of CBG stuff, not as much. But I think paired with CBG, once again, proving, not showing, proving that it too is good for anxiety and stresses, which a lot of our customers use CBD for, but also to enhance the memory. And again, the right dose of CBD, in my opinion, in a lot of the customers' opinions, actually adds some clarity to the mind. I think a lot of people that don't know are afraid that it's going to make them really tired or something. CBD doesn't work like that. Honestly, it would take a lot, I think, before you would feel the effects that would make you feel tired. You might be calm, and it might make you get the best sleep of your life. But it's not like THC Delta 9, where, to me, I eat a THC Delta 9 gummy, and 20 minutes later, I'm barely keeping my eyes open. And that's how food, THC Delta 9, has always affected me. CBD is not that. It doesn't have the real physical side effect. It doesn't have any physical side effects for the most part. So we're definitely gonna be hearing more about CBG, especially again if it helps with memory. That's something that the elderly or elder, myself included, this kid, is concerned about as we age, because memory is just, again, it's a normal process for a lot of humans to suffer memory loss the older they get. Whether it's related to Alzheimer's or any other degenerative brain disease, or not, honestly. So anyway, there's that. So hemp insulation. I think I showed an interior shot of a house. The article was titled "Hemp Insulation. Is this eco-friendly product worth using in your build?" And I did not read the article. I'm just going to answer the question. I guess I should have put this at the end of the show, or it's Ask Beach Anything, or Beach Thoughts. 100%. Again, it seems kind of silly that, it's kind of redundant to say, is this eco-friendly product worth using in your build? Because again, all eco-friendly, I don't care what it is. If you can describe it as eco-friendly, then of course you should use it in your build. Even if it's not hemp, that's fine. But hemp is, to me, like super eco-friendly. I want to jump it up a notch. I really hated and not convinced that I liked the description superfoods, especially until hemp was like, everyone refers to hemp now as a superfood. And, I think I get it more now than I did maybe 15 years ago, when superfood was like, describing, again, just being really healthy foods, or foods that the human body really needs. So now I'm going to move on to describing hemp as, a super building material, because it is a step above anything else. If you can make it out of hemp or use it in your build one way or another, then whatever you're replacing is it's much better for the planet. But hemp is at least equal to, if not superior to, whatever it is you're replacing to begin with. Whether it's fiber insulation. Here I think they're really talking about hempcrete as insulation, which, the benefits of using hempcrete for insulation go well beyond the eco-friendly. You're talking about flame retardant. You're talking about antimicrobial, antibacterial. It has a great insulation property. So, that's cheaper bills, whether it comes to keeping it cool in the summer or keeping it warm in the winter. And so, the benefits of using hempcrete as insulation in your build way outnumber the terribleness of regular concrete. I don't like to say negative things about the competition, so to speak, but it's easy when it comes to concrete as well, because concrete is super unfriendly. They have to basically mine or dredge for the particular sand that they are using. And not only have they mined and dredged rivers all over the world and sucked it dry of this sand, but they are running out, and they know that they are running out. Just like the oil industry knows it's running out of petroleum. That's why there's going to be one last push for petroleum in the world, so to speak, because they know that they are running out. And so replacing your insulation, your hempcrete, once again, the only thing you can't do with hempcrete is use it as basically like a foundation, load bearing. You cannot use it as load bearing. So what they do is they frame it in and then spray in the hempcrete for the insulation parts. And you can do that solid as long as you have a frame that is load bearing, one way or another. The other insulation, and hempcrete kind of takes away from the fiber insulation, which would remind you of the old school fiber insulation that you rolled into the attic. That also exists. It's a huge product used in France. It is kind of a new product that you don't see a whole lot of, because people pretty much embrace the hempcrete as insulation, including making their roofs out of hempcrete insulation. And so the fiber insulation, I think, is being used less and less across the world as insulation, but still gets rolled into many an attic in a brand new house. And, that should be made out of hemp as well. It exists in the world, and is also way superior to probably what they continue to make fabric insulation, roll-in insulation out of. Even though they've really had to clean that industry up, it's still probably not good stuff. And when you can replace it with hemp, look at the benefits there. So, yes, hemp is the eco-friendly product worth using in your build. Everyone's doing it. You might as well jump on board. So I don't know if you're familiar with the body products or products called milk, but the article was, it's basically an advertisement, I realize, okay, an advertisement for milk products. But this is good milk, not bad milk, as I was saying, because dairy milk is terrible. But I don't know if they use, I don't know. If milk makeup uses, I didn't go that far as to see if they actually use milk in their products. It seems weird. But the 15 best milk makeup products, fan favorite. This is the fan favorite. Is the Hydro Grip Hydrating Makeup Primer, and so once again, it has hemp in it. I will also say that a good majority of the products on this, I want to say almost half of the milk products that were on this list did actually include hemp as well. So, but I just thought this was fun because this was the fan favorite, was the hemp one. So if you're looking for some hemp body products and you can't find them at Hemptations Northside, then maybe check out Milk. I can't imagine that they actually have milk.com. And so you might have to do a little Google research on that one, but I'm sure you can find their products online if you're looking for something like that. This is some cool CBD stuff, but research, and this is research, and I don't know if you call it double blind, but the research showed that CBD may have potential protective benefits against UVA radiation. Okay, UVA radiation is what causes the burning of the skin, cancer, all kinds of stuff. And we actually did, and I don't know that we do now still, but we actually had some sunscreen CBD products. And so, I don't know if this means, like, once again, it's super easy to do. You just come and get some Hemptations tincture, and then you take your sunblock and you mix your Hemptation CBD tincture in with it a little bit, and you're boosting your effectiveness. Now, this is coming from someone who just recently had a sunburn for the first time in like 20 years, because I'm a huge proponent of sunblock. I'm a huge proponent of keeping UVA radiation off of my skin, because I know how bad it is, one way or another. And so I'm now I'm going to take the CBD tincture that I have here next time I sunblock up, and I'm going to add just a little bit, just to get the little bonus benefit, one way or another. And I use, yes, just so you know, I use hemp sunblock. Of course I do. I should show that. I might just show that, or maybe I did just recently show my hemp sunblock,
I think so.
the sunscreen, because summer was here and it was apropos, so to speak. So there you have it. My word is my truth. And of course, I have hemp sunblock, and the hemp sunblock is easy to find online. Multiple. I think it's Bob's is the other one. I think I showed one that I had we used to sell, and I just still had some, and still seems to be working just fine. And then I think my other one, my newer one, is Bob's, and they have great hemp products. I'll get the full name on that, and let everybody know next week on that one. And I really like their products. I really do. I looked into actually putting them on the shelves, and we just never followed through with it because I was really impressed with what they were doing. Okay. Okay, so we know hemp is a phytoremediator. Talked about that a lot. What that means is it does a really good job of pulling chemicals and things out of the soil where soil needs to be cleaned up. Now, this recent study showed that hemp growth was in fact unaffected by PFAs. And if you don't know what PFAs are, that's basically what they call, I'm thinking of the term, like never disappearing, never go away, never something. Basically, they're chemical compounds that
Forever chemicals.
forever chemicals.
Yep.
That never go away, ever. Like, almost close to like styrofoam, which does eventually go away, but has a life of like a long time. So anyway, it's the newest concern as far as, obviously once they get into the ground, they're either going to make their way into the waterways or they're just going to be into the ground and make their way into the plant life because they never go away. But hemp can make them go away. And what they showed, and this is interesting because I've often talked about the byproducts, and this was part of the study because they basically said they're not really sure how to dispose of the hemp safely once they pulled the PFAs out. But they did find that some PFAs get stored in the leaves of the plant, some in the root. And so they have isolated the area, which means, all in all, once they can kind of prove there's none in the stalk, you would think they could just cut that stalk, cut the leaves, cut the top off, de-leaf it, so to speak, and then cut the root off, and then still use that for its fiber. Still use that for the hurd or the shiv to make hempcrete out of. Obviously, I feel like, unfortunately, combustion may be the only way to safely dispose of the leaves and the roots with those chemicals. But then again, how does that work? I know that's one way that they do that. Can it be? It's going to be interesting once again, and this is the whole what to do with it when it's done phytoremediating whatever the soil is up to toxic waste, which is improving and the famous atomic waste, Chernobyl, they grew hemp and proved basically that it could remove the toxins safely as well. And so it's, and I've talked about the project up in Illinois where they have lined the waterway into one of the lakes up there because the chemical runoff from farming was making its way into this lake and killing everything in its path. And so they were planting industrial hemp along the waterway, the watershed, to remove those toxins before they got to the lake. And so, this is nothing new. and should be used more and more everywhere when it comes to phytoremediation. It should just be added to whatever anyone is doing to clean soil anywhere. Growing hemp on it should be added to the process. It's kind of a no-brainer. And again, I've often, once again said we need to find out what we can and can't do with that plant once it's done its job. We've gotten a little closer knowing that, if it does store those PFAs in the leaves and the root, then possibly, like I said, the middle of the plant may be safe to be used for some type of consumer product. Obviously, like the study was saying, now they have to figure out exactly how to dispose of the leaves and the roots or the plant itself safely. So we'll see how that goes. But it's more advancement into needing to use hemp as a phytoremediator all over the world, including cleaning up. Now, what you'll probably end up seeing, ironically, is a movement to grow hemp in rotation with cotton to clean the soil, because cotton freaking destroys the soil. Cotton destroys the soil. And now, ironically, they'll grow hemp to remove the chemicals and whatnot to clean up the soil for the cotton. And hemp is 4 to 6 times stronger than, and be doubly ironic if they actually then do use that fiber from the hemp to make material out of. Hopefully what that would really mean is to phase out of the cotton period and just grow the hemp. Clean up the soil, grow the hemp, make the clothes out of it, 4 to 6 times stronger. Planet is 30% healthier right out of the gate. If you don't know, cotton uses 30% of all the chemicals in the world, agriculture. 30%. And that's probably being generous, to be honest with you, because I've seen higher percentages of cotton's chemical use. Herbicides, pesticides, everything. Bad. Just bad. It's just bad. And hemp can, once again, grow hemp where you grow cotton, and you're cleaning the soil that cotton has destroyed, and you're growing a superior fiber. I just don't understand how it's just not happening. Like, to me, it should just be happening everywhere right now. But we have a way to go. We still have a way to go. Here's a fun little chart of omega-3s. We've always said that the ratio of omega-3s, omega-6 is almost perfect in hemp. Here is a comparison to other high omega-3 plants. The only one that actually, in my opinion, is better is the flaxseed, because in 1 tablespoon you get a lot more omega-3 than you do. But even where it's kind of misleading with I think it's the chai seed, because that's a whole ounce.
Yeah.
And an ounce is a lot more than 3 tablespoons that the hemp is. So it's kind of misleading. This is another one of those charts that I don't really like, because if you're going to tell me hemp has this amount of omega-3s in the tablespoons, well, then tell me how much omegas are in 3 tablespoons for everything.
Yeah.
Obviously it's a lot more when it comes to flaxseed. Obviously a spoonful of flaxseed a day is great for your omega-3 percentage. But everything else, honestly, doesn't compete with hemp from what they say. In all honesty, with the 3 tablespoons. And so, it's a little misleading, because you look at the chart and you think, oh, well, chai seeds, man, that's a lot too, so I should do that. But it's not the same amount. You have to have a whole ounce of those to get those omega-3s. 3 tablespoons, and I think it was 3 tablespoons of hemp seed was part of a hemp seed diet. So if you did 3 tablespoons in the morning, hemp is known to satiate hunger. So what that means is it makes you feel more full for longer before your body starts to tell you that you need food. And again, I don't recommend anyone being on a particular diet, I just recommend that everyone have a good diet. If you have a good diet, then you will be healthy. You will not be overweight. Um, and so, and a good diet can include anything, but it has to be, because, nothing in moderation can harm you, but you have to know what that moderation is. When it comes to sugars and even dairy products, and because all of that stuff. Again, it's okay to have a little of the stuff that's really not healthy for us, as long as you're having a lot of the things that are healthy, one way or another. So, and hemp seed again should be a part of every human's daily diet in one form or another, one way or another. And we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting closer every day. But there are so many food products, that we could put hemp in to make them healthier and better for humans. The people that sell us the food don't care. The big food companies do not care. They continue to put stuff on the shelf that they know is not really, it's food product, but it's not necessarily healthy. And so, hemp needs to get its way there, and it's again slowly working its way there, including being on the list of 13 healthiest foods you should buy at Costco. Just so you know. So, if you want to buy your hemp seed in bulk, Costco apparently is the place to do it. I think you have to buy 6 pounds, but it's actually a really good deal. It may seem expensive, $55 or so for 6 pounds, but that's a pretty good deal if you try to go. I just looked at hemp seed on the grocery store shelf, and just this tiny little bag was $8 or something crazy. So $10 a pound is a really good price, one way or another. Makes me want to go to Costco, get some hemp seed. All right, well, that's the news that we have for you here on the High Noon Hemp Show. I do have a couple events to talk about. Purdue University is doing their field day on July 30th. This is going to be in West Lafayette. It's a $20 ticket. You can go to Purdue's DTC's website. I don't know what DTC is. Department of, I don't know what that is. You would think it would be maybe their agricultural department section at their Purdue University's website. But if you're interested, you're in somewhere around Indiana or want to travel over there for their field day, again, that's going to be on July 30th. And Purdue has definitely embraced hemp. And Indiana is doing their best to embrace industrial hemp as well. And then we have the medical marijuana meetup, August 6th, the first Tuesday of the month. They used to be monthly, now they're bi-monthly, so every other month. And so I will be mentioning this again before this comes up. But it is a local thing, happens at the Mad Tree Brewery, and it goes on from 8 to 11. And the reason that I include this, you're saying, hey, Beach, it's called the Medical Marijuana Meetup. Why are you talking about it on the High Noon Hemp Show? The main reason that I'm doing that is because almost from the inception of the Medical Marijuana Meetup, Bonnie, who organizes these and has organized them, and does such a great job of organizing them that other cities have picked up the whole entire idea. She invited me to come to represent hemp, to be the CBD, not the, but a representative of CBD in all things industrial hemp. And, from day one of these events, I have embraced that. And, there are all walks of life to the representation of cannabis, not just the medical marijuana. And I have had great conversations. I have learned something about hemp at almost one of these meetings, or and so that's why I try to go when I can, and represent, be that one. And there are more hemp. There are more people there that represent the industrial hemp part of cannabis as well. It's just a great event, honestly. If you like cannabis, want to talk about cannabis, want to learn about cannabis, are interested in cannabis in any way, the medical marijuana meetup is for everyone. For everyone. Bonnie teaches the class, the marijuana class, at UC, which I go and I teach half a class. Once a semester, I teach half a class, do my industrial hemp thing. But her students, there are always students that they come to the medical marijuana meetup that want to talk to me about industrial hemp, and so it's really kind of neat, honestly. So if you wanna have a face to face with me on industrial hemp, and you're in the Cincinnati area, or maybe you want to fly in, never been here, want a vacation in Cincinnati, coming in for the medical marijuana meetup, maybe a baseball game this time of year, soon. Football games on Sunday even. So Sunday football game, a Tuesday medical marijuana meetup. Sounds like a good plan. So again, that's August 6th. I'll be talking about it until it happens here on the High Noon Hemp Show. I don't have anything. Well, it says Ask Beach is we usually show the close with an Ask Beach or Beach Thoughts. There was a question that I asked earlier in the show, and so that was kind of an Ask Beach, and I answered. I don't really have any thoughts because, again, normally my thoughts are pretty well established throughout the show. So with that, thanks everybody for watching this episode of the High Noon Show. We'll be back next Wednesday at high noon. And I do want to, and I forgot to mention, because 24 is key to my life. Today being 7/24/24, that's a 24/24. 24/24, and I can tell you now, that used to be my passcode, my 4-digit passcode, for a very long time. Because nobody really knew that 24 was my all-time favorite number. But I did get rid of that probably 20 years ago, even, and had to move on to something a little bit more confusing. But anyway, so thanks for joining us on 7/24/24. And remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, make everything else out of hemp. Having temptations.
See you all next week.